young adults and up. Welcome to the King Mula Podcast. Welcome to the King Mula Podcast. Welcome to the King Mula Podcast, y'all. All right. My name is King. Back with another one. And it's a midnight one. Okay, midnight session. All right. And the reason I wanted to do this in a midnight session because because this type of topic, it makes sense. Okay, this topic's gonna get into the nitty gritty of, well, it's a taboo topic, but it needs to be said anyways. It needs that great insight that I bring. It needs that information that's whole and you can take into account what's going on. And what I'm talking about is the adult entertainment industry. Okay, yep, I finally got to it. It's finally time to get to it, okay? So, how do we go about this, Well, I mean, let's see. Now, the adult entertainment industry. Something's very sensitive. How we finna go about this is pretty simple. Let me just let's first understand what exactly I'm talking about. And I'm not even gonna say the name for it because you shouldn't really know. Even if you're a young adult, you should know. Because you've probably been introduced to it way younger than you're supposed to be. Like a lot of us have been scarred by this industry at a young age. And it's not particularly the industry fault. It's mainly unrestricted access to the internet that we can blame the parents. But also blame just the lack of education that comes with it, because I'm going to talk about this and that industry, and we're going to get into some mental health with that. So, let me play you something. It won't be able to be, I don't know how I want to go about this, but this is that episode. I just had it. Let me just go on this. See if it really. Okay, hold on. It ain't even worth all that. It says that's enough. That's enough. Whatever you heard is what I'm talking about. Porn. Yes, that's the name. The alternative name is adult entertainment industry or adult industry. But it's porn. Pornography. Pornographic material. Porn. Yeah, all the stuff that we've been introduced way too early to. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about today, and how it has effect on the mental health. But before we get into that, let's define what it is, because that's what we do here on this podcast. So, first, I already gave you the alternative name to porn, which is adult entertainment industry. So, let's define it. I don't think Merriam-Webster or what the? Okay, whatever. Anyway, I'll just do this. They're making it seem like it's such a hard thing to define. Y'all know what it is to define. Okay, we got Oxford. Porn. The first definition: pornography. Simple. But let's go to the second one, which is television programs, magazines, books, etc. that are regarded as emphasizing the sensuous or sensual aspects of a non-sexual subject and stimulating a compulsive interest in their audience. They're using it in that context. Like when somebody says like food porn or something like that, they're just talking about consuming it. Well, you would technically just call them a foodie now, but food porn is just like watching all the content that you're watching. Like let's say on IG, it's just food. That would be food porn to you. That's what they mean for the second definition. That's not what I'm asking for. Let's go to pornography, because that's the actual name. Porn is just the shortened version. But pornography is the depiction of erotic behavior, as in pictures or writing, intended to cause sexual excitement. Okay, Merriam-Webster. It says the same thing, just with material. Okay. Yeah, so there's that. Etymology, we can do that too. Porcelain. Come on. Okay. Porn, etymology for porn, abbreviation of pornography, 1962. Here's pornography, etymology for pornography, 1842, ancient obscene painting, especially in, okay, what's going on? Especially in temples of Bacchus, from French pornographie, from Greek pornographos, when depicting prostitutes. Prostitutes originally purchased, with the original notions probably of female slaves sold for prostitution to sell. A brothel in ancient Greek was a porneon. A porneon. Wow. In recent to modern works by 1859. Pornography. Yeah. So that is defining that. So let's get into, now I'm going to stop saying it for real. Well, not as much as I just did in that little period, but let's get into what I really mean with this. So the adult entertainment industry is such a vast, big one, and you got a little bit of history with the etymology. So, well, here's one thing that I want to dispel before I even get into it. Sex work, prostitution is not the oldest profession at all. That's a misconception that people still throw around, that I still see people throwing around, especially on Twitter. But it is not the oldest profession. It never will be. Okay? And the way they misrepresent it by saying it is considered to be the oldest, or one of the oldest, I should say. But it is not the oldest. The oldest is agriculture, farming. That's the oldest. Okay? Way older than it. At least 7,000 years older. You can fact check that. It can be at least 5,000 to 7,000 years older before all of that began to happen. So, yeah, so we got that. I got that out the way. So, But I don't really talk about the adult entertainment industry. It's a lot going on there. It is the sex work is like just it's a job that they do, but there's some history with it where it's being used. There's some vast history with sex work, like using that, but they use it in like war times. You have women, sneak into places because it's they're being sold into it more than likely, but they're going into it knowing with a mission of either dismantling whatever empire or whatever regime is on top at that period in time in history. So yeah, it's been used in many ways to for coup d'etats or whatever as for a coup. But that's not really what they use it for in today's time, at least. Mostly it's for like socially, especially on Twitter and stuff like that. They just try to glorify this industry as if it's something that you should really get into. Not at all. Not at all. First of all, it's just glorified fetishes of a few guys who own all these websites, especially the most popular one, which is Pornhub.com. Apparently, I'm gonna just say allegedly, there's one guy who runs it all, who has a fetish who runs the whole website, and yeah, you can fact check that if you want to. Look, you can dig deeper into that. I'm not really too cared about being wrong about that. It doesn't really matter, but that's what I heard, and it's pretty crazy if you got a man who's just that deep into it where it's just glorified fetishes over and over. But then it makes sense because the titles of these of these websites are always repeatedly the same. Oh, stepdaughter, stepmother, relations, like family affairs. Yeah, there's a lot of that. And it's weird. Cheating. It's a lot of weird fetishes that are glorified on these websites. And it's weird. And it's very plain, literal form. It's weird. Like, why would you even, pleasure yourself to that? Why would you indulge in something like that? It's weird. There's no there's a lot of weird, grapey concepts. And not just grapey, but just weird, abusive, weird family dynamics. Like, why are you... First of all, family's never supposed to be doing stuff like that, ever. There may be some examples out there, but the majority of people do not get down like that. I'm going to just say that, because that's weird. That is not... Oh, man. And it's done a number on people in general. There's such a thing, but it's a lot. So let me go into it. This glorified, everything's glorified. They try to glorify sex work. It shouldn't be. That's that forbidden thing that you should never want to be into. Especially if you're in the industry and if you actually pay attention instead of just getting your own rocks off. How about you look for an interview for maybe your favorite adult actress or actor? Mainly the actress, because it's usually about the women anyways. But mainly the actress. Get their stories. There's a lot of horror stories in that industry. A lot. And a lot of them go in because they're naive, they need the money or whatever, or wherever the case is. But they come out with a lot of horror stories and a lot of things going on. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that y'all don't really pay attention to. When it comes to that, it's ridiculous. I've been a victim of watching it early. I watched it really early. And I got into it, and I kept watching it because, as a teenager, if you hook onto something like that, it gets addicting. And then your body's already going through changes in the hormones and testosterone and all of that. So adding that into the mix just makes it all off balance, way off balance. And it's like, you don't really know what you want for real. Because one, you're getting fetishes off of something that you really shouldn't even be fetishizing. It's not even your own fetishes. It's not your own things that you actually like. It's just something that you've seen because everybody else is doing it, under the table, in the talks or whatever. And you really never really understand what you want out of there because you're so busy looking at somebody else fulfill their fetishes. So you got to figure that out for yourself now. You got to figure it out alone first. If you're a guy, more than likely you're gonna be alone in finding that. Don't use porn as your guide at all. Find out for yourself by exploring your body yourself without the use of porn. Okay, I get it if it helps you get aroused, okay, but you don't need to use that. You just need to pay attention to your own body. You need to understand. Actually, you don't even need porn. You can look outside. Maybe you can look outside. You see, like, I don't know. Actually, guys can get hard off of anything, to be honest. So if they watching like a movie with a beautiful girl on there, bam, just like that. That's for some guys, though. I mean, those ones that really imagery is so powerful, so that helps a lot. So you really don't need porn, but porn would just skew it up because you already there is no mystery in porn. Like you know what's gonna happen. All the clothes gonna come off, booty, butt, naked. You gonna see it all. So there is no mystery involved with that. So it skews you up because your mental health is important, and porn warps your mind, and it keeps you objectifying women. And I'm talking for the fellas right now. It keeps you objectifying women and hypersexualizing them and not really seeing, them as actual people. And that's a big, big problem. There's a lot of horror stories in porn. And that could involve the industry not seeing the porn actresses as people. It's all about profit at the end of the day because it is a business, a $1 billion business, and it brings in a lot of revenue, but it's not good for you, especially because it's overstimulating your brain with serotonin. I believe I'm saying that right. And you don't give yourself a break, especially if you watch it every day or if you're addicted to it. And I've seen shows with guys admitting that, they watch it every day, every single day. And I'm pretty sure that's common for a lot of guys to watch it every single day, to just wake up and watch it. That's bad and terrible for your health there's studies showing that it has a negative effect on your health, on your brain, on your mental health, because it's not good for you. It's warped your mind, and it actually, I believe it's linked to depression and stuff like that. Because honestly, when you get your load off, you feel empty inside. That post-nut clarity is what another name for it. And it actually, it doesn't feel good anymore because that moment's gone, and now you're empty. And you got empty for what? For what reason did you empty yourself out? For what reason did you need to relieve yourself? just so that you can do it again the next day or the next 4 to 6 hours, or maybe the next hour, or maybe the next 30 minutes. What's the like? It's a big bad industry, and there's a lot of people getting screwed over by that industry, literally. And a lot of people just may not see it because they're only there just to get their own, just to indulge for themselves and then just move on, or just come back, keep coming back. It's a cycle of hypersexuality and and a limited view on how sex works. And a lot of people have gotten their sex I could say sexual experience from porn. Like they use that in their own lives as if it's such a good guideline. It is not. They may have some positions that are cool, but a lot of the positions that they do in porn are dangerous. Like, I'm gonna just tell y'all that right now. A lot of, especially probably one of the most beloved, probably, let me just say, like cowgirl. That's a really dangerous one. If you don't know what you're doing, you can end up, hurting your shaft, hurting it badly, like badly. So y'all playing the game. There's a lot of things they don't teach y'all about porn, and the mental effects that it has on you, the imagery that it has on you, and the fact that it's hard for you to get away from porn once you're addicted to it. It's another reason why you should quit.